Why hello there, fellow ancient soldiers. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to RimWorld, the Stalwart Ancients. Episode 5. Preparing Sufficient Defenses. Given that I want to use this room as the lab room, I'm also just going to break everything down in this area, and this will just be our lab. So we have an underground lab and an overground living quarter. And as mentioned, these are not human likes in terms of mood when you butcher them, but they do give human leather and human meat. Alright, you're entombed underground, huh? Maybe go haul some wood. Give you a reason to be outside productively. And the rest of everyone else is just collecting and hauling everything to storage and then to surface. Can any of the debris be moved around? No. All the debris you see here is stuck, except for chairs and beds, for the most part. Yeah, so she got covered in acid. That's why she's in such a bad mood. And then for flippers, you just need some recreation, so how about you go to the surface here in a second. And Breakfire and Aggro are just, continuing to work down here to get a lab together. So I still have not finished searching the lab, but let's just change the priority, which is to assemble a gene lab. Is it possible to run conduits? No. The lab and the outside are separate. So what we're going to need to do is to import chem fuel, more than likely, and then have our own chem gens and generate power down here for the lab to run. Which was my plan all along. So I'm planning on putting chem gens and batteries in here, and then all the lab equipment in here. Oh, Aggro's asleep. Alright. Get you topside here in a minute. Well, you have your outside time, but you're still now pissed. Are the acid puddles dangerous? No. It's just filth now. Good news is we have more medicine to delay the hemocollapse, which is at 24%. You're already up? All right. I want you to recreate. And then I'll put you back. Oops. I'll put you back in the underground to do some hauling and the like. Okay. The Killbox, for lack of a better term, is ready. Now, the reason why I haven't closed the doors is I have edibles, things that wild animals would want to eat beyond this door. I could hypothetically destroy this door and replace it with an auto door or something like that, which would then keep animals out of my kitchen. But that's why I have this door closed. So, I mean, I know it's an issue. I don't care. Because there's only one way into my base. Normally, in RimWorld, I have a valid path into the base so that I'm controlling the flow of enemies, but the thing is, this is the only way in. The walls are indestructible, so I don't really need to have a valid path. Because they're coming after this door no matter what. New lovers. Red Mist and Flippers. Well, that's going to be a tale of woe, but okay. Tale of woe because she's going in she's destined to die until we can find a cure for her. But, yeah, we'll do what we can. And then, Breakfire, you're going to switch bedrooms. So this here can be a hospital room, I guess. All right, Red Mist and Flippers. I'm going to have you guys actively... Oh, yeah, you're 53. Never mind. I don't need to worry about that. You're post-menopausal. I was like, yeah, if you're like terminally ill, having a child when you're terminally ill just is cruel. I don't need to worry about that. Don't I already have a Betty hospital? So this is more just like an extra bedroom. I mean, the idea was if there was like a transport pod crash victim or something, we could stick them in there. But it's not something I necessarily need to worry about right now. Both Flippers and Red Mist research, so might as well have both of them double up. That doesn't sound bad. And then Aggro here is just in the Great Underground, and it's because he's like such a fast runner that I'll have him just collect stuff. Because there's not a lot of good hunting right now. Because the emus are a little sketchy to hunt with a shotgun. And down here, what we're going to want is a chemgen. At least probably 2, given the scope and size of the laboratory. And then hook a battery bank for it as well, so that we can keep it powered on. It's not like the original Ancients mod, where like, you die if you have a power outage. It's just not great to have a power outage, but it's not like a fatal thing. And a lot of these bionic parts are nice, but not like worth the surgery at the moment nice, I would say. Which is why I haven't been rushing for that. So the injector itself is going to go here. And then I'll start aligning the rest of the components around it. And Aggro, because he's recently killed people, I can just like leave him down here to do a lot of work. I want them to take the correct path. I don't know why they weren't. Given that Red Mist is healed, now might be a good time to take on some of those more, some more Splice freaks. Because everyone's kind of ready. So let's take out this Hulk here. And I'm not going to melee it if I don't have to. There we go. So, these are... Oh, yeah, I didn't actually click on it while it was up. But they're just big hulking masses. And we will dump it out too. But no one got hurt, so let's continue clearing the lab. Because there's a few more rooms left. I don't want them all to come out at once. Oh god, oh god. So, Splice Fiends. A towering mutant angered and prodded by its endless energy. Its proportions are wildly distorted, with its arms dragging along the floor. Its bursting chest is stretched open wide with straining cords of flesh, as it walks with legs thick enough to shatter stone underfoot. Unlike its sluggish kin, the Splice Fiend moves with alarming speed and precision, overwhelming prey with violent charges and rending strikes. Was hoping to do is... Okay, kite, good. Go this way. And yeah, they don't, like, collapse normally. Alright, exit. Okay, break fire, got torso gored. Red Mist is still down there, but she can go invisible. And now we know what's in store. And what I'd like to do is like wait until they're not stacked up against the vault entryway for when I intercept them. Basically let them disperse and spread out. So we didn't, well, yeah, we triggered all of them. Okay, cool. That's swell as hell. But yeah, if you take a look, they don't go down to pain shock. They move fast, not like pawn fast, but fast. And they have pretty good DPS. So we want to divide and conquer as much as we can. Well, there we go. We got some herbal meds. That's nice. Oh, it's gonna suck. No, that's not what I wanted. Red Mist is down. Aggro, keep firing. Alright, and the ear destroyed. I think I actually have a bionic ear. Get closer, don't friendly fire. Okay. Keep shooting the Hulk. So the Hulk's here. A swollen mutant, bloated mutant that quivers with every labored step. So what it can do is it does regenerate all wounds with unnatural speed. So you definitely need to keep killing it until it's super dead. Okay, there we go. Tending time. And exit vault. Hawks and fiends. Oh boy. Not fun to have to fight those things. Alright, so Break, you are no longer bleeding. Red Mist will be patched in a second. I'm glad she survived. That was all sorts of sketchy. Alright, in fact, let's go ahead and carry her up. Because the medical tend will be better topside. And we'll bring her stuff out. So, putting the sword up top, medicine up top, and everyone else can exit the vault and have some R&R. So for her, at the moment, her hemocollapse doesn't need tending, so I'm going to tend her with herbal meds to save on nicer meds. She doesn't need the industrial meds for this. Well, we're live. Getting the hulking masses put into the butchery, and the With a chance for aggro to have a lot of human leather clothing if he wants. Because these are all human leather beasts of sorts. Alright, she's up, so I'm going to give her her Gladius back. And now there's just this one last room to explore, but I'm obviously going to go down there when everyone's nice and healthy, because I'm not an idiot. Well, I'm a bit of an idiot, but I know better not to do that. I don't, I mean, I guess I could check what they have for sale. Oh, they're already leaving. I'm not going to be able to catch them in my current condition. Not without aggro. Once aggro's up, I'll have them go back down there and start moving the gene lab equipment. Excuse you? Oh, is that my fault? I mean, you say yes, but I say no. I didn't get Padilla killed. She had dementia and cataracts and decided not to exit the map tile when everyone else was exiting the map tile. Am I to blame? I really don't think so. The audacity of these visitors. I think because we can hunt for food, my biggest bottleneck at the moment is probably medicine. So I'm going to continue sowing heal root for that reason. And then once the heal root's sown, I'll put aggro back down under. I know I do need to do the surgery. So in that case, getting a scalpel just for, like, surgeries would be nice. So I'll have Breakfire make a scalpel so that I can do the ear surgery. Because I believe I do have a bionic ear. I do. So we'll get a bionic ear on Breakfire, who lost one in that fight. But only after I get a scalpel. And then as far as the what matters down here, I'm not going to bother cleaning outside of the part of the lab I use. Because I don't care. Not yet. Not in the short term, at least. Ooh, unfortunately, I don't want anyone tending to her out other than aggro, because their medical 10 quality would be awful, and you should be tended with industrial tech. Would I want to go ahead and set the human meat for the fuel? Yeah, I have a lot of fuel, but let's do this. I'm going to call it make chem fuel from gross, which is human meat, insect meat, and fungus. But so I have it, but I'm not necessarily going to queue it up at the moment because I got other stuff going on. So we got the scalpel that I should probably put on a shelf in here so that we can equip it before every surgery, and then probably have some patient gowns in here as well. I'd like to get out of patient gowns. I just don't have a lot of leather yet. Once I have some leather, we'll get out of the patient gowns and have people don patient gowns for surgeries and then, like, take them off subsequently. Now, I don't quite have a lab set up yet, but Breakfire has opted to go for the first genetic experiment once the lab is assembled. So that's another thing that we'll do soon. Oh, yes. I also need to fix Aggro's schedule. Does stuff get affected by the yes, so the vault acts as part of the regular map tile. So I can't hide my wealth by putting it down there, and everything down there adds to the wealth. Which is to say, we have a regular, our wealth jump as a result of having that lab went big. So, like, putting pawns down there doesn't change our population count either. So if you take a look at the pawn graph, for instance, when we're down there, we're still colonists. It doesn't, like, you can't game the system in that way. Aggro. Grab the scalpel, and let's do that ear. So that's a right ear. Herbal, industrial meds. And he's already wearing a patient gown. Okay. No permanent injuries as a result now. While he's out, there's really nothing else I want to give him. Probably, especially given that I don't know what the consequence of the first genetic experiment will be, and I probably shouldn't invest in him until that happens. Oh, Red Mist and Flippers, you're not really... Where are you supposed to be sleeping? Because I don't know where you were, but you should be in there. It's going to be a minute until people are, like, healthy enough that I'll want to explore this last room. Chances are there's probably not a lot of, like, hostels down there still, but trust but verify. Also, it looks like the cougar that was naughty and went to eat the person is, like, slowly bleeding out, so I'll take advantage of that and finish it off. Okay, fully healed, just on anesthesia. So we still have a little bit of hauling left to do down there. A lot of the mood bonuses that, like, Aggro had as a result of all that murder is gone. But he still should be fine to do some running about and hauling all the laboratory equipment where it needs to be. Blowback op is done. Let's get gun turrets. And then the other thing I want to do is down here. Is there... Oh, yep, the heater room is on. I don't think that there was any, like, anything that breaks down to components. So if I want to build some chem gens, I'm going to need to bring components down here. So let's do the inverse, where enter vault, component, let's put 7 down there. So I can build the chem gens to be able to power up a lab, because there's no natural power source of anything down here at the moment. I don't want you doing treatment. I'll have Aggro do it. He's still woozy. And her hemocollapse syndrome is about 1/4. So it's gone up 13% this stream so far. to give you an idea of the speed. We are getting a decent amount of limestone blocks, and that's going to allow us to make some shelving in the storage area sooner or later. But I wasn't about to queue up any new tasks for these guys until tomorrow. But assemble the gene lab is still the top priority, and we're still working on that. Ooh, we just hit progressive. Hitting a quarter means that pain, movement, consciousness, and immunity gain has been lowered. Well, pain's gone up and everything else lowered. Some of these parts are a little damaged, probably due to the acid spray. That's why I dragged the room, I dragged the fight outside as fast as I could, because I figured that would be the case. All right, aggro, eat, and then head back down to the lab. Let's get that thing hauled around and assembled. Hey, Schneep Dog. Thank you for the sub. Welcome to the stream, and I wish you luck in future raffles. So all of the... I know there's 2 Archite capsules here that I guess aggro can hack, but the only thing we don't know is what's beyond that door. So let's start assembling stuff. So, let's see... Neurostabilizer arrays. So, we have up to 10 neurostabilizer arrays. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then for cognitive arrays, that's up to 6. So I'll do them there. For batteries, I'm going to put them here and here. I'm going to put the 2 chemgens on opposite sides of one another to like mitigate any potential cross explosions, not that I suspect there will be any. Have it hooked up like this. And then the actual power that comes down into the lab will run... I think what I'm going to do is only have it run 1 loop, where I can have a power switch to be able to turn it on or off on demand. Because I don't necessarily want the entire lab on all the time, because it only needs to be on while we're using it. Alright, break. Enter the lab and start building. Then the other thing we're going to need to do is enter vault, throw, let's say, 200 chem fuel down there. And 20 limestone blocks. And Flip, I'll have you go do that. Alright, so for genomic attenuators, we have up to 4. We'll install them. The uplink I'll install next to it. The grow light can be kicked up back to surface. And we're starting to get some chem fuel, so we'll be able to turn on the batteries. Because I don't want to run any experiments until we have like some decent power stored. Because you know, it could be a potential health risk, in fact. Being stuck in a browned out genetic engineering process. And for whatever reason, these things cannot be deconstructed, they just have to be bashed. So I'm just like bashing them out of the way. So stuff that can deconstruct I have, but not everything can. Alright, so now the 2 batteries are hooked up. Let's get the other chem gen up. We'll need steel for that. So flippers, let's send some steel down. We'll send 100. All right, the rapid infusion pumps. I think there's 9 of them. So I'll start, I'll put them in the middle. Complexity harmonizers, there's only 1, so I'll just plop it over here. The rejection buffer recoils, there are 5 of them. And then the arcing pathways, that's a singular item. I'll just plop it over there. And then once everything has been installed, I will do another head count to make sure I've like counted everything proper. So that I know what I have and what we need and all that jazz. Let's also get some lights. And there's, interestingly, like one other thing I'd like to add down here before we really kick this off and start experimenting, which is turrets. Because if one of our colonists becomes some sort of splice monster, yeah, we're gonna want some automated turrets to deal with that possibility. Relic, thank you for the resub. Are we out of steel again? I think we are. So being kicked up to the surface, let's see. We can throw the synth thread up, and the slag, and the foosball table, and the stools. And then down, more steel. Oh, I already had steel queued up. So up to 100 steel and the archite capsule. And it's getting late in the day. Aggro just fell asleep, so let's have him exit vault. Flip the switch? Yeah, I'll flip the switch. Turning everything off. Oh god, the random event, that scared me. Because I was like, oh my god, what did I do? Because it was like an error message. So War Merchant, got it. Maybe there's some weapons or something I can buy. So we're getting pretty close to having an assembled lab. And once we have the assembled lab, we have some turrets, and we have some powered batteries, we can consider doing some genetic experiments. Okay. There's still that last room left to search, and I'll be doing that in just a moment. I just wanted Red Mist to fully heal first. Probably keep the foosball table. Its sale value is probably higher than its raw materials, I'd imagine. Alright, let's have you clean and move stuff. Alright, here we go. Here's the trader. Remote shield. So there's a lot of stuff that we can sell that we don't necessarily need. I'm going to keep the scalpel. Let's buy the herbal meds, because I think that's going to be pretty important given our need for it. I'm not going to bother with any animals because we really just don't have need of that. And there we go. That's a good amount of silver coming our way. I kind of like the default lights that are down here, the ancient vault lamps. So I'm not going to move those around. And as I said, the only rooms that I care about for now are the are this square here. Outside of the square, I don't really care. Eventually, we'll break all that stuff down, but probably like with a breach axe later on down the line. Not something I'm doing right now. Look, you are going to need some food and wreck. Break fire. It's your turn to go down there. And gun turrets are researched. Perfect. Now, at this point, I could be encouraged to do xenogenetics so that we can actually bank genes. Microelectronics to get the high-tech research bench, or gas up to get better weapons. So I'm going to have you choose between those specific three. What to research next? Xenogenetics, gas up, or microelectronics. I think those, in the scheme of things, is kind of the most important. I'll give you 2.5 minutes to vote on that while the lab gets prepped. So let's double check the lab. What we have here is 6 neural stabilizer arrays. I've got 6 marked down. I only have 2 cognitive recovery arrays here. Maybe I marked them down. No, 2. Okay, got it. Rejection buffer, 2. And I've got 2 marked down. Attenuator, 1. Got 1 marked down. Rapid injection, 1. I got 1 marked down. Arcite recycler, check. Splice flame, check. Harmonizer and pathing, check and check. So yes, that chart is correct. Good. And once the batteries are topped up and we got turrets down here, I will spin up some experimentation. So I don't have any nice metals for this, which is unfortunate. So we'll circle back to security once I have like nicer materials. Might even just do it like that. So I want to get some security up here first, and then I'll do security down here, and then we'll do the experimentations. So the vault down here is ready to go once there's turrets down there. Is the splice frame that useful? Sounds like it does not do a lot with a big downside. What I can do is I will save and show you what it does, and then have I'll probably change it so that the channel point redemption allows for the pawn owner to decide whether they want one or not, want splice hooked up or not, giving some options there. Gas up looks to be the popular choice, so we'll do gas up next. So current priority is build up defenses. But I'm not going to interrupt their party. I'll let them party a bit. We're definitely going to be out of steel pretty soon, so I'll have aggro go deal with that. Nice, we're starting to get turrets already. Turrets hooked up to dead power, so I can just flip them on and off at will. Can the lava be used for anything cool or useful? Not for us, no. Other than, like, scorching corpses. Alright, so aggro's starting to do steel mining so that we can finish these turrets, because I think I'm out of steel. Actually, you know what? I'll do individual barricade banks so that enemies can't take advantage of that. Additionally, I will, I'll build 4 turrets here to uninstall them and ship them down, rather than having to, like, import the materials for the turrets, which doesn't make a lot of sense. Just build them up here and then move them where they are needed. And, likewise, let's put, I probably don't need barricades, because, like, if you're going to become a Splice mutant, you're just going to be brawling them, so barricades don't really matter. So 4 turrets topside, 4 turrets in the down below. Just waiting on a little bit of steel. More pollution. No, doesn't. That's a lot of pollution. Holy hell. No thanks. Thank you for tuning in to the Stalwart Ancients, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you would like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow ancients.